Arthur, your thoughts on that? I imagine if the game had stopped at 70 minutes, you'd be a happy man.
Yeah, very happy, but unfortunately it doesn't. And yeah, you deal with 5 minutes of madness from us. I think we just switched off, and the first one's the most important one because that gives them the confidence. At 2-0, you got to hold firm and be strong mentally and just hold out because they're going to come at you. They're at home, and yeah, we should have dealt with that better. We didn't, and then in the end they got momentum off the back of that, and in the end 2-2 resulted away from home. We'll take that.
I guess this part of it is like because their goals came so close together, you didn't really have time, did you, to get your foot on the ball and just take the sting out of it, did you?
No, but we needed to stand up there and know once we've conceded that the next 5 minutes are really crucial and vital, and that's something we'll look at as to why we didn't do that. But in the end, we give them that momentum and we give them that belief, and then they come home strong. And in the end, maybe they're unlucky not to get one. But yeah, even at 2-0, I think we had another top chance to go again. Jordi Valadon's just missed there to go 3-0 up, and that's frustrating that we couldn't hold on to a 2-0 lead, and that should be enough, but it wasn't tonight.
Do you have to sit them down when you go through a situation like that and like kind of look, if you're going to push as deep as you want to go in this competition this year, those are the kind of games you really, 2-0 like you say away from home, 20 minutes to go, you've got to ice that.
Yeah, that's of course. We're a good side and we need to be better in those moments, and we'll look at that. We'll find out why and address that and be better for it next time.
Roderick looked like he was playing through a fair bit of pain and then came off. What was the situation there?
Yeah, he looks like he's in a lot of pain. I'm not sure the extent of the injury or what it actually is, but he's in a lot of pain. And for Roddy to come off, it's it's probably serious for him. But in the end, he did what's best for the team and come on. And Joshy goes in the middle there, and Josh Insero goes at the right, and they see it out. So in the end, they stand up. If you look at our back four since when Roddy come off, I don't think we've had that back four at all this season. So they did well in the end to hold on.
Just one last one from me, but Nish, people were really excited this year. I know he kind of started the year, he got kind of waylaid with injury. Have you been happy with his involvement? I mean, maybe the goals and assists aren't there, but I guess in terms of his overall output.
Yeah, Nish has been doing well. Look, the problem with Nish is once you get into the Socceroos setup and you do really well in the Socceroos, the expectation rises as well, and people's demand and expectation of Nish rises. And that comes with the territory of being a Socceroo player. And, maybe he hasn't reached it consistently as yet, since he's come back from that long-term injury. And, yeah, he's still adding value to the team. He's working really hard. And tonight he just come off because he was tiring a little bit and we just needed some fresh legs. But, yeah, he's contributing to the team, with and without the ball. He's contributing in the change room. So, yeah, I'm happy with Nish.
One statement and two questions from me. The first statement is thank you. Thank you for giving Juan Mata a second chance here in the A-League, because every football fan is loving watching him. And we can see as well that, the Premier League players are viewing him and our A-League as well. So, I think it's wonderful that we have him here still, and he stayed in Australia. So I think that's a big thank you from all football fans. But my first question is, what's it like being the coach of Juan Mata? Do you ever get overawed or sometimes have doubts when you think too much about who you're coaching? And has he brought anything into training that he learnt over in the Premier League, maybe from Manchester United? He played there, for quite a while.
Yeah, he brings a lot to training. He's the type of player that every day is the same. He only knows one way when he steps on the pitch, whether it's training or games, and that's to work really hard first and foremost. He does it in such a humble way where other people can look at that and be in awe of just how humble he is and how hard he works. Add his quality to that, and that's what makes him, a superstar. And in the end, that's what other players have to look at that and see, it's not just his ability and his quality as a footballer, it's his humbleness and his work ethic. And, that's key and that's vital. And I think, all young players, when they see that, they should strive to want to be that way in terms of their behaviour first and foremost. Everyone's got different abilities in terms of, your standard and your quality as a footballer. But everyone can have a world-class mentality and attitude towards their training and their craft. And he shows that. He leads the way with that. And, I'm proud to coach him. And, in the end, he doesn't make you feel like he's someone special because he's so humble. So, in the end, I know what he adds to the team. I knew what he was always going to add to the team. And that's why we brought him here.
And is there anything at training that you've adopted from Chelsea or Manchester United that he's recommended or taught you? I guess fans would love to know. I would love to know.
No. I mean, they're not discussions we really have. That's you know, there's good discussions with him when you go for coffee with him and you can talk about his career and previous teams and coaches. But yeah, in terms of a coaching part, he doesn't even want to input in that. He just wants to do his job, do it as best as he can, and be there for his teammates. And that's the most important part of how he fits into our puzzle and how important he is to our club and our change room.
Arthur, he's only signed to the end of this year, right?
Yes.
Is there scope, like, when do you start that conversation about whether he plays on? Because I think he's 4 goals, 10 assists. That's pretty good return for a guy who's, you know, we thought was finished last year.
Yeah, I don't know who. When you say we, I don't know who you're referring to, but yeah, look, that's up to him. Yeah, that's up to him. Yeah, they're not discussions we've had just yet. You know, there's a strong season ahead of us still, a few games to play. We want to be successful. We want to have a fantastic season. He's contributing to that. And I'm sure in due course conversations will be had. And if he wants to keep going, they're going to be positive conversations. And if he doesn't, we'll soon find out. But for the moment, he's playing an important role for our team. He's enjoying his football. You can see that. He's enjoying his football. That's the most important thing. You know, I always said to him, coming to Melbourne Victory, you're going to enjoy your football. I'm going to make sure you have a beautiful football experience. And that's the first conversation I had with him. And that's all I could guarantee him, that, you know, you're going to have a great experience here with us. Where that lands and where that leaves us, we'll find out in 10 months' time, which is now coming closer to that end. But in the end, he's contributed to where we are at the moment. He's doing ever so well. And other people around him helping him as well, which is fantastic.
And just on that as well, like what George had just said, you know, he didn't get many minutes last year and he's playing full 90. I didn't realise that he was 37. I actually thought he was maybe 33, 34. So that's incredible in itself. How does he pull up at training after 90 minutes in a match? Because, I mean, the A-League's pretty physical as well.
Look, they're things that we have to manage. You know, at this point in time, we haven't had to manage a lot. And that's credit to him, how he looks after himself. And when you're that durable, that you've played at a high level for so long and used to playing 50, 60 games a year, high level, you know, backing up to do one game a week, although his age is his age, he's durable enough to do that. Where we have to be on the pulse is to make sure that we don't overbake him and give him time off when he needs it. Even substitutions, you know, sometimes you can see he's a little bit, you don't want to stretch him too far and put him at risk. You know, that's one thing we never want to do to any of our players, nor one, nor anybody else. And yeah, that's part of the juggling act of all the players, making sure that they're all fit and healthy every week, and the fitter they are and the healthier they are, the more they can contribute to the team. And that's very, very important for a player to be fit and healthy.
Just the last one, Jack Bowski had a brilliant game tonight. He's doing really well starting.
Yeah, really proud of Jack. He's waited a long time for this opportunity. You know, he's been in around the A-Leagues for many years. He's played for young national teams for a long time. And, you know, we had the belief. He was very fortunate that he got an opportunity because of injury. And that happens in football, you know. It's very unfortunate for Jack Duncan to lose his spot through injury, but that's football, it happens. It opens up a door for somebody else, and he's come in and done really well. And we're very confident in Jack. We're proud of him and the work that he's done. And, again, tonight he's made some really good saves, and that's his job.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.